All right, everybody, what's going on? Kale Teschner here with Game Day Picks. I am the Pirate King. Let's go. If you guys are brand new to the channel, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below and that you hit the notification bell. I drop videos every single day on the picks that I'm taking. This is my documentary, my vlog of taking sports bets and sports picks, and me just breaking down my thought process, why I'm choosing what I'm choosing. And so that way, ultimately, everyone else can participate with having some fun around sports betting, man. Like, this is just something that I genuinely enjoy to do. I think it's fun. So here we are. If you guys are not currently subscribed to my Winnable account, please make sure that you click the link in the description down below. All my picks are 100% free. My mission is to give the most valuable education that helps sports bettors win. And when I put picks, you can see I do provide video analysis as well as a very extensive breakdown as to why I'm choosing what I'm choosing. So that way there's, not me just giving you picks and you just blindly following me in faith, but you can read what I'm writing, you can see how I'm thinking, and hopefully my whole goal for you is that you're actually able to form your own opinion based on my opinion, which is ultimately how you become a better decision maker, a better sports bettor in general. So anyways, you guys, if you tune in at the very top here, we had a couple of picks last night. We did do the recap that I just posted this morning at 9:21 a.m. And if you are subscribed, you would have already had a chance to see all of this information. Last night we got crushed. It's no lie that there was a lot of players who got injured in Thursday Night Football. There's a lot of players in basketball that were getting hurt and not being able to play the rest of the game. And it did tank our bets, but that's okay, man, because we're here live in action with you guys with some new picks. So let's go ahead and cover tonight's picks. We've got on November 17, 2023, we've got the Nuggets versus the Pelicans, the Suns versus the Jazz, 76ers versus the Hawks, Bucks versus the Hornets, Celtics versus the Raptors, Kings versus the Spurs, Lakers versus the Trailblazers. So let's hop into our first pick. So we're looking at Aaron Gordon to go over 19.5 points and assists. And the reason why I'm looking at Aaron Gordon, quite honestly, if we just look at his record, he's putting up a lot of points. I do understand that Tesler is out. I'm sorry, not Tesler. Murray is out. And so because Murray is out, I do believe that when one man that is fucking good is out, the other man is going to come up and conquer. And obviously we can see historically that Aaron Gordon does put up a lot of points, especially when Murray is not playing in the game. So for those reasons, if I look at his historical track record, if I look at the situation of the lineup on this team in this game, I just see Aaron Gordon going well over 19.5 points and assists. He does pretty consistently throughout the whole entire season. Next, I'm looking at Zion Williamson, but I'm not looking at him to go over. I'm looking at him to go under. If we look at his entire season, he hits right around 18 or 19 points. He very rarely goes over a 20-point mark. And, ultimately, another reason why I think Aaron Gordon is going to be a huge look, as well as Nikola Jokic. I can never say these guys' names right. But when Zion is on defense, man, he's like birds and the bees. He's like kind of wandering around. He's not really playing a lot of hard D. He plays mainly offense, but he still doesn't put up a shit ton of points. He just puts up around 18 or 19 points. So I'm expecting him to go under on this one. Next is we're looking at Jokic over points and assists. And I believe his line was, I'm not sure, but when I post this video to Winnable, I'll have it in the description what the points are. But I am looking at him to go over points and assists. Next, we have the Suns versus the Jazz. So I think it's a no-brainer. The Suns typically dominate the Jazz. The Jazz is not one of the better teams in the league. And the Suns are definitely contenders. They crushed it last season. They're crushing it this season. They've got Durant. They've got Booker. They're both playing in this game. They both put up 62 combined points last night alone. And so I just think that taking the Suns on the spread, -5.5, I do think historically, if you look back the last 5 or 6 games that they played against the Jazz, they have beaten the Jazz by double points, or double-digit points. So I think -5.5 is a very low spread, and I think the Suns are going to be able to cover this very, very well. With that said, Devin Booker's point line was at 28.5, and I know that he has put up over 30 points the last 3 games that he's played now. But I did notice something online that says that he's actually on a time limit, so he can't play as much time as he has the last couple of games. And granted, the guy can definitely go well over 28.5 in less than, 4 quarters. He didn't play too much with the fourth quarter, yesterday. But nonetheless, just because he's on that time crunch, I don't want to just put him on points only. I do know that he will be passing the ball. He will need to be getting the ball over to Durant more often than not. And so I do think it's realistic that he hits the 35.5 over on points and assists. All he has to do is have 7 assists and 29 points, and 28 points, and we're good to go. Next, I'm looking at Kevin Durant. Can't sleep on Durant. This guy's putting up over 30 points the last 4 or 5 games consistently, if not just over 28 points. So I think that this is a no-brainer. His game average on the entire season is almost 31 points. He's hitting over 30 points per game. So I do think that this is a no-brainer. So those are the picks for the Suns versus the Jazz. Next up, we had the 76ers versus the Hawks. I was looking at these guys' lines, and I just don't know enough about these two teams playing with each other. I was trying to look at some research and do some studying, but I'm just going to go with my gut on this one. I did do a parlay, and I did a half a unit bet since I wasn't so confident on this game at all. And so what I went ahead and went for was Jalen Johnson over 11.5 points. He's hitting consistently over 15, 16, 17, 18 points every single game. Last night, he just hit 19 points. So, to see him go over 11.5, it was, the book said it was like minus 140 in my sports book. So, they obviously think this guy's going to go over. But then, Trae Young over 9.5 assists. The guy hits about 11 or 12 assists per game pretty consistently. And then Joel Embiid, man, still struggling with a hip injury. And if we looked at his performance the last couple, I think it was last night, or maybe it was 2 nights ago, he just didn't have, it was 2 nights ago. He didn't have any points. He put up like 18 points in that game. And, I think that it's going to be the same story in this game. I think with a hip injury, if you look at even Anthony Davis, the guy fucking tanked 2 nights ago because of a hip injury. He didn't do shit, and neither did Joel Embiid. And so I think for those kinds of reasons, they've got a lot of work to do. I mean, obviously he's got a chip on his shoulder for how he played the other night. He did mention on a broadcast that I need to be better, is what he said, a quote for his own words. But nonetheless, man, I'm taking the under on this guy again, just because of a hip injury. It's obviously going to be hard to move, hard to play, hard to get a lot of things done. All right, next up, we've got the Bucks versus the Hornets. So LaMelo Ball, man, I've never put a pick on LaMelo Ball, and I just felt like tonight would be the night to do it. I took him over on points and assists, 35.5. This is a risky play. But, I think that LaMelo Ball, if you look at his performance, he's gone over 30 points the last 3 games in a row. He's got almost double-digit assists the last 3 games in a row. So he's hitting well over 40 points on the points and assists. And so with that, being in thought process, plus I wanted to really bet on LaMelo Ball, I recently dropped a video on my Instagram and TikTok about all the LaMelo Ball basketball cards I have. I just feel like tonight was the night that I finally put a bet on LaMelo Ball, and I think he's going to hit us on this one as well. Obviously, I think all these are going to win. I wouldn't pick these if I didn't think that they were going to win. But I do want to say, hey, look, do your own research. Make sure that you're gambling at your own risk. I win, I lose. This is a documentary. I'm just vlogging my journey. So I took just LaMelo Ball on the Bucks versus the Hornets. I know that a lot of people are saying Giannis is going to come in. I did see he was probable with a calf injury. If you looked at what he was out for yesterday, it was just kind of like high maintenance issues with the calf. It wasn't really like that he was injured, just that they were trying to take care of it. And so it could mean that he's coming to the game and will potentially dominate the Hornets. But whenever it says somebody's injured, I just try not to bet too much on them. Unless it's like, I've just noticed a lot when a player has a hip injury on the report, they don't do shit in the game. And that's why I took Joel Embiid on this one. Technically, I should be looking at Anthony Davis as well, right? Like, he's still probable with the hip injury, and he was trash 2 nights ago. Obviously, he's going to have to come back, bounce back a little bit, but I don't know, man. But, hey, looks like LeBron might not be playing tonight either, so Davis might have to step it up tonight. But I'm going to talk to you guys about my pick with tonight's Lakers game in just a moment. Somebody that I think everyone's sleeping on. The sportsbook is thinking that he's not going to put up as many points as he's going to put up, but he's going to. But so anyways, yeah, we went with LaMelo Ball. All right, next up, we got Celtics versus the Raptors. Jason Tatum, this guy's crushing it. I took his over 31.5 points and assists. I think that's a no-brainer, especially for the odds at -113. Kings versus the Spurs. So this is going to be a fun game in my opinion. I think the Kings are a very attractive looking team this whole season, you guys. They crushed the Lakers 2 nights ago. And obviously, you know, Davis got his ass beat by Sabonis. But let's look at these picks tonight. So I'm taking Sabonis over 26.5 points and assists. I think that for a -108, this is a no-brainer. He's hitting well over 40 on those two spreads right there. On his points and assists, if you combine them, he's getting like 35, 40, 45 points every single game. So I don't know what's going on, why this is such good odds, but I took it because I think that this guy is going to come in and do exactly what he's done the last 5 games in a row and blow this number out of proportion. Next, I don't know if you guys saw him last night or 2 nights ago. Kevin Huerter. My gosh, man, this dude was draining bucket after bucket after bucket. If we look at the last 5-6 games of him, he's hitting 3 to 6 threes in every single game. This guy really comes onto the court and he really brings it. And so for that reason, I'm going to be taking him over 3.5 3-pointers. I think he's going to hit his pointers tonight. And then I did do a parlay for fun. Oh, and by the way, this is plus 126, man. And for a guy who's consistently hitting 4 threes every single game, I say, why the fuck not? So this is another parlay, and this is just for fun. I think that we could hit this very easily. Kevin Huerter over 15.5 points. Victor Wembanyama over 9.5 rebounds, and Aaron Fox over 2.5 3-pointers. A little bit of a risky one with Aaron Fox. He is kind of towing the line right there with 2 to 3 3-pointers every single game. But you know what, man? I think this guy can really put some points up. I think he can really get the job done. And again, this is just a fun parlay to make the odds a little bit better. And then lastly, Lakers versus the Trailblazers. You know, I didn't know anyone else to really take but Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish is someone that I think everyone is sleeping on. This guy, he can get into a game. He can sink threes. He puts up points. He fights for rebounds. He gets assists. Like, this guy is in the game. And, you know, obviously LeBron is not, he's probable, it's questionable if he plays tonight or not. But when LeBron does play, he trusts Cam Reddish to get the ball up. And Cam Reddish delivers every single time. And if the leader on the court is trusting this man, I'm trusting this man. I put picks on him the last 2 games in a row. He towed the line with us the first time. We took 10.5 points. He got 10 points. We took him last night, 9.5 points, and he crushed it. He got, I think it was 18 or 19 points. So I'm going with Reddish once again at 10.5 points. And that's the picks for tonight, NBA 11/17/2023. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the YouTube channel. Make sure that you subscribe to my Winnable account where I post these picks first before they ever go to YouTube. And the reason why is it just uploads here very quickly, whereas YouTube takes some time to upload. So that's why, man. I post this here because it texts you a message the second that I post the pick. And it's just faster. And I think that this is a great site for anyone to come in here. You can use it as a great resource to get other people's picks. You know, I don't really go a lot off of these guys. They don't really provide as much detail as myself. Obviously, I'm providing tons of detailed video, detailed explanation on my picks. These guys are just saying, hey, follow me blindly. And I'm not about following people blindly. I like to make sure that I'm documenting exactly why I'm picking the picks that I'm picking. So nonetheless, you guys, subscribe to my Winnable with the link down below and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that way you get all the notifications when I drop my picks, my recaps, and any other educational information that I put out there. All right, you guys, we love you, and we'll see you after tonight's games. We'll do the recap.